Have you ever felt that subtle heaviness in your chest after enjoying your favorite fruits? Or wondered why your heart seems a little weaker these days, even though you're careful about what you eat? Many seniors quietly struggle with heart health, often blaming aging or less activity. But what if the very fruits you believe are helping might be causing hidden harm? It's easy to think fruit is always the safe, healthy choice. But that's not always true, especially as we get older. This is a small detail that many overlook, yet it can quietly affect your heart every day. In this video, I'll share with you 7 common fruits that could be putting stress on your heart without you realizing it. Stick around until the end, because I'll also reveal the one simple habit that can protect your heart and keep you feeling stronger for years to come. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Grapes. Have you ever found yourself reaching for a small bowl of grapes as a late morning snack, maybe while reading the newspaper or watching your favorite show? Grapes are so easy. No peeling, no slicing, just a handful of sweet little bites that seem harmless, even healthy. For many seniors, they're a go-to treat. You might even keep a bag in the fridge for the grandkids, or toss a few into your oatmeal because you've heard fruit is always good for you. It's a simple pleasure, and in a world filled with so many complicated health rules, something as innocent as grapes feels like a safe bet. But have you ever noticed that sometimes, even after making these so-called healthy choices, you don't feel any better? Maybe you find your energy dipping in the afternoon, or your heart feels heavy, or you're just a bit more sluggish than you expected for someone doing all the right things. Could it be that something as natural and beloved as grapes isn't as perfect as it seems? After all, you've probably heard for decades that fruit is a heart-healthy choice, a guilt-free snack. But what if that advice deserves a closer look, especially as we age? Let's step back for a moment and consider what's going on inside those shiny little spheres. Grapes are packed with natural sugar, fructose, which, for younger people with faster metabolisms and different nutritional needs, can be a useful source of quick energy. But as we get older, our bodies process sugar differently. The pancreas works a little slower, insulin becomes less efficient, and the heart, ever vigilant, has to manage the ups and downs of our blood sugar with less margin for error. You see, while the sugar in grapes is natural, it still raises your blood glucose and, more importantly, can lead to spikes and crashes. These frequent sugar spikes do more than just leave you tired. They quietly strain your cardiovascular system. When blood sugar rises quickly, your body releases more insulin. This not only stresses your pancreas but also increases inflammation in the lining of your arteries. Over time, this inflammation can contribute to the buildup of plaque, a major player in heart disease. What makes grapes particularly sneaky is just how easy they are to overeat. Unlike apples or oranges, which you usually eat one at a time, grapes come by the handful. It's not uncommon to eat 20, 30, even 40 grapes in a single sitting, which can mean taking in the sugar equivalent of a can of soda, sometimes without even realizing it. That's a lot for an aging heart to handle, especially day after day. So, what can you do? The good news is, you don't have to give up fruit entirely, nor should you. But it might be time to reimagine how you enjoy grapes. The key is moderation and balance. If you love grapes, try setting aside just a small handful, about 8 to 10 grapes, as a special treat, not a daily habit. Pair them with a bit of protein, like a slice of cheese or a few almonds, to slow down sugar absorption and help keep your blood sugar stable. You might also consider swapping grapes for berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. They're all rich in antioxidants but have less sugar per serving and a lower glycemic impact. Plus, they come with added fiber, which is especially helpful for digestion and overall heart health. Let me tell you about Linda, a retired teacher from Ohio. For years, grapes were her favorite snack, especially in the summertime. But she was frustrated that her cholesterol and blood sugar kept creeping up, despite her efforts to eat right. Her doctor recommended tracking her fruit intake, and that's when Linda realized she was eating almost 2 cups of grapes a day, much more sugar than she thought. She decided to cut back, enjoying grapes just once or twice a week and filling in with more berries and a few nuts instead. Within a few months, her energy improved, her afternoon slumps disappeared, and her next doctor's visit brought real, measurable results. Better blood sugar control, healthier cholesterol, and, best of all, a sense of confidence that she could take charge of her health one small step at a time. If you've always loved grapes, don't feel bad. None of us wants to give up the little joys in life, especially when they're tied to happy memories. Picnics, summer afternoons, or sharing with the grandkids. The goal isn't to punish yourself, but to protect the heart that's carried you this far. Think of it not as missing out, but as giving yourself the gift of many more years to enjoy the things you love most. Remember, being proactive about your health doesn't mean you have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. It's about noticing the details that matter, being gentle with yourself, and making mindful swaps that suit your needs today. Not the body you had at 20, but the wise, resilient person you are now. So next time you reach for grapes, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this the best way to care for my heart today? Small choices add up, and your heart deserves every bit of your care. You've already shown so much courage by seeking out knowledge and being open to change. That's something to celebrate. With every thoughtful choice, you're investing in your future, one snack at a time. 2. Pineapple. Picture this. It's a hot afternoon, and you're in your kitchen, maybe standing by the window as the sun streams in. You reach for a bowl of fresh pineapple, so bright, golden, and juicy, it's almost like eating sunshine itself. For many seniors, pineapple feels like a small tropical luxury, a little sweet reward after a walk or a perfect ending to a summer lunch with friends. You might love the tang, the way it perks up your taste buds, and the refreshing burst it brings on a warm day. For years, you've heard that fruit is nature's dessert, and pineapple is surely one of the best. But have you ever stopped to wonder, could something this delicious be doing your heart more harm than good? What if the very thing you believe is helping your health is quietly putting extra strain on your body, especially your heart, without you ever realizing it? After all, it seems almost unthinkable. Isn't pineapple packed with vitamins? How could a food so bright and healthy looking be anything but good for you? Here's the surprising truth. Pineapple is indeed full of vitamin C and other nutrients, but it's also one of the most sugar-dense fruits you'll find in the produce aisle. Just 1 cup of diced pineapple has about 16 grams of sugar. That's roughly the same as 4 teaspoons. Now, while the sugar in pineapple is natural, our bodies, especially as we age, don't always handle it as smoothly as we'd hope. For seniors, the pancreas often has to work harder to process sugar, and the body's response to that sugar, insulin production, becomes less effective over time. But sugar isn't the only story. Pineapple is also very acidic. That means when you eat it, you're not only sending a rush of sugar into your bloodstream, but you're also introducing extra acid into your digestive system. For some people, especially those with sensitive stomachs or acid reflux, which becomes more common with age, this can cause discomfort. But more importantly, science is discovering that high-acid, high-sugar foods can quietly contribute to inflammation inside your blood vessels. When blood vessels become inflamed, they can't expand and contract as easily, which puts more pressure on your heart, sometimes leading to long-term issues like high blood pressure or hardening of the arteries. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Another thing that makes pineapple a bit tricky is that it tastes so good, it's easy to overdo it. You might start with just a few chunks, but before you know it, the whole bowl is gone. And if you're reaching for canned pineapple, there's another layer of concern. Most canned varieties are packed in syrup, adding even more sugar to the mix. Even the unsweetened version has plenty of natural sugar, so it's easy to take in much more than you intended. So, What can you do to keep enjoying pineapple without putting your heart at risk? The good news is you don't have to give it up entirely. Moderation is key. Try having just a small serving, a few chunks rather than a whole bowl. Eat it alongside a meal with some protein or healthy fat, like a handful of walnuts or a slice of turkey, to slow down how quickly your body absorbs the sugar. If you love pineapple in your smoothies, balance it out with leafy greens or a few slices of avocado, so the sugar isn't the only thing your body is taking in. Even better, consider enjoying pineapple as a special treat, not a daily staple. Fill your fruit bowl with lower sugar options like berries or green apples most of the time, and let pineapple be something you savor on occasion. And always check the label if you're buying canned fruit. Look for packed in water or 100% juice, never syrup. Let me share the story of Mr. Frank, a retired firefighter from Arizona. Frank had a lifelong love for pineapple. Every afternoon, he'd enjoy a big bowl, believing it was the healthiest way to satisfy his sweet tooth. But at a routine doctor's appointment, his blood pressure was higher than usual, and his cholesterol numbers weren't as good as they had been. His doctor asked about his eating habits and pointed out the high sugar and acid in pineapple. Frank was skeptical at first. It was fruit, after all. But he agreed to try cutting back, swapping his daily bowl for a smaller serving twice a week, and eating more blueberries and strawberries instead. Within a couple of months, he noticed less heartburn, more steady energy, and his next checkup showed lower blood pressure and better cholesterol levels. Frank didn't have to give up his favorite treat entirely. He just learned to enjoy it wisely. If you love pineapple, there's nothing wrong with that. The real power is in making informed, gentle changes that honor your body's needs. It's not about restriction or missing out, but about caring for your heart so you can keep enjoying the little joys in life for years to come. Remember, your health isn't determined by one food alone, but by the choices you make every day. Be kind to yourself. Small, thoughtful adjustments add up, and your heart will thank you for every single one. You're never too old to make a positive change, and you deserve a heart that's as bright and strong as the sunshine in your kitchen. 3. Mangoes. Imagine a summer afternoon, sunlight pouring in through the window, and you slice open a ripe, golden mango. The sweet fragrance fills the air and, for a moment, you're transported. Maybe to childhood memories, a tropical vacation, or just a simple pleasure in your kitchen. Mangoes feel like a little celebration, don't they? For many American seniors, they're an occasional treat, but for some, they've become a regular part of breakfast or dessert. The texture, the juiciness, the bright color. Mangoes seem to promise health, energy, and a touch of happiness, all wrapped in one perfect fruit. But here's a question that might surprise you. Could this beloved fruit, praised for its vitamins and vibrant flavor, actually be making things harder on your heart? For years, you've likely heard, "Eat the rainbow." Fruits are nature's gift. It's almost unthinkable that something as wholesome as mango could be a problem. But as we get older, the foods we've always trusted can sometimes play a different role in our bodies than they did when we were younger. So what's going on with mangoes? Let's take a closer look. Mangoes are indeed rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, and antioxidants, nutrients your body needs. But there's another side to the story. They are also loaded with natural sugars. A single medium mango can have as much as 45 grams of sugar, more than the sugar in a typical can of soda. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing sugar, especially large amounts consumed quickly. The pancreas works overtime to produce enough insulin, but with time and wear, this system just isn't as robust as it once was. When you eat a mango, your blood sugar can rise quickly. Your body responds by releasing insulin to bring it down. If this happens often, especially if you're enjoying a whole mango or adding it to other sweet fruits, you could be putting extra stress on your system, leading to high blood sugar swings, insulin resistance, and ultimately, greater risk for heart disease. High blood sugar and excess insulin can trigger inflammation throughout your body, but especially in your blood vessels. This inflammation, over months and years, can lead to plaque buildup, high blood pressure, and the silent damage that puts your heart at risk. There's another twist. Mangoes are so delicious that it's easy to eat more than you intended. And because the natural sugar is wrapped in soft, juicy flesh, it goes down quickly and feels refreshing. But in just a few bites, you may be getting more sugar than you'd ever add to your coffee or tea in a whole week. For someone managing diabetes or prediabetes, or just wanting to keep their heart healthy, this can be a hidden problem. So, what's a mango lover to do? The key, as with so much in life, is balance. You don't have to say goodbye to mangoes forever. Instead, try enjoying a small portion, a few slices rather than a whole fruit. Savor the taste, let it linger, and notice how satisfying it is when you're mindful. If you like mango in your smoothies or yogurt, pair it with a good source of protein or healthy fat, such as a handful of almonds or a scoop of Greek yogurt. This slows down how quickly your body absorbs the sugar and keeps your blood sugar steadier. If you're looking for a daily fruit option, try lower sugar choices like berries, green apples, or grapefruit. These not only have less sugar but also offer plenty of vitamins and fiber to support your digestion and heart health. When mangoes are in season and you can't resist, remember, a little goes a long way, especially when you're focused on caring for your heart. Let me tell you about Alice, a retired librarian from Oregon. She loved starting her day with fresh mango, believing it was the healthiest choice for her heart. But after a yearly checkup, her doctor noticed her blood sugar and cholesterol were creeping up, despite her efforts to eat well. They talked about her diet, and Alice was shocked to realize just how much sugar was hidden in her daily fruit bowl. Taking her doctor's advice, she cut back on mangoes, enjoying just a few slices once or twice a week, and filled her breakfasts with blueberries and walnuts instead. Within a few months, her blood tests improved, her energy was more stable, and, perhaps most importantly, she felt more in control of her health than she had in years. If you've always thought of mangoes as a guilt-free pleasure, don't feel discouraged. Every generation discovers new things about nutrition, and part of wisdom is being open to change, even when it's a little uncomfortable at first. The goal isn't to make you give up what you love, but to help you find a better balance so you can keep enjoying life's flavors without worry. So next time you reach for that beautiful mango, remember, your heart deserves your care and attention just as much as the rest of you. With a few small adjustments, you can savor the sweetness of life and of mangoes for many, many years to come. 4. Papaya. If you've ever spent time in Florida, California, or even browsing the tropical section of your local grocery store, you've likely noticed the sunny glow of ripe papayas. Maybe you even tried one during a vacation, or you remember the cheerful orange slices at a friend's brunch table. For many older Americans, papaya feels like an exotic treat, a fruit that promises both a boost of vitamins and a touch of nostalgia, reminding you of warmer days or a special memory. Its mellow sweetness and creamy texture make it a favorite for breakfast, salads, or even as a soothing dessert. It seems harmless, right? After all, what could be bad about something so naturally colorful and seemingly gentle? But let me ask you this. Have you ever finished a bowl of papaya, only to notice your heart fluttering a bit, or your blood pressure feeling off, even though you thought you'd made a heart-smart choice? It's easy to assume that all fruits are safe, especially those with such a healthy reputation. Fruit is nature's medicine, we're told. But is it possible that, as we age, some of these health foods can quietly put extra stress on our hearts? The truth is, papaya, despite its good reputation, packs a surprising amount of natural sugar. Just 1 cup of diced papaya has about 11 grams of sugar. For younger adults or people with very active lifestyles, that might not seem like much. But for seniors, whose bodies process sugars more slowly and less efficiently, this can quickly become a challenge. As we age, our body's ability to regulate blood sugar levels becomes less precise. The pancreas, which helps manage blood sugar by producing insulin, works less efficiently. When you eat papaya, the sugars it contains are absorbed into the bloodstream and can cause a quick, sometimes steep, rise in your blood sugar. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. That's not all. Repeated spikes in blood sugar can lead to inflammation inside your arteries, which quietly damages the lining of your blood vessels over time. This inflammation is a major factor in developing high blood pressure, arterial stiffness, and even heart attacks or strokes. Many seniors don't realize that, while they're eating healthy, they may be putting invisible stress on their hearts day after day. And because papaya is so gentle on the stomach, it's easy to eat a lot at once, sometimes more than your body needs. But there's good news. The solution isn't to cut out papaya completely, it's to find the right balance for your own body and heart. If you love the taste and want to enjoy it, try having a small serving, maybe just a half cup at a time, and not every day. Pair it with some protein or healthy fat, like a spoonful of cottage cheese or a handful of walnuts, which can help slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. You might also enjoy papaya as part of a bigger, fiber-rich meal, like in a salad with leafy greens and grilled chicken, instead of eating it on an empty stomach. That way, your blood sugar rises more gently, and your heart doesn't have to work so hard. There are also wonderful alternatives. If you're looking for a daily fruit, try options like green apples, blackberries, or grapefruit, which have less sugar and more fiber. If you want to keep enjoying papaya, save it for special occasions or mix it with lower sugar fruits to keep your overall sugar intake balanced. And always remember to listen to your body. If you notice changes in your energy, mood, or heart rate after eating certain foods, it's worth paying attention and perhaps mentioning it to your doctor. Let me share a real story that might feel familiar. There's a gentleman named Bill from Sarasota, Florida. He retired to the coast and quickly fell in love with the fresh papaya at his local farmer's market. Bill made it a habit to start his mornings with a big bowl of papaya, believing it would keep him young and energized. But over time, he noticed he was feeling more sluggish, with occasional dizziness and higher blood pressure readings. His doctor asked about his diet, and when Bill mentioned his daily papaya habit, the doctor suggested cutting back and adding more fiber and protein to breakfast. Bill was hesitant. Papaya had become his comfort food, but he agreed to try. Within weeks, he felt steadier, and his blood pressure returned to a healthier range. Now, he enjoys papaya twice a week, always with some nuts or cheese on the side. He feels balanced, not deprived, and proud that he found a way to keep his heart healthy without giving up the foods he loves. If you're like Bill, know this: it's not about denying yourself the simple pleasures of life, but about making them work for you, not against you. Your heart has worked tirelessly through all of life's seasons. It deserves gentle care now more than ever. You can enjoy the color, taste, and memories that papaya brings. Just remember, a little goes a long way. With small, mindful changes, you'll protect your heart, savor every bite, and make sure there are many more sweet mornings to come. You're not alone in this journey. Every thoughtful step you take adds up, and your heart and your family will thank you for it. Keep listening to your body, stay curious, and remember, the best choices are the ones that bring both joy and health every single day. 5. Bananas. It's a scene that plays out in countless American kitchens each morning. A gentle hand reaching for a perfectly yellow banana from the fruit bowl. Bananas are so familiar, so comforting, and so easy to enjoy. Whether sliced over oatmeal, blended into a morning smoothie, or simply peeled and eaten while reading the newspaper, they've become a daily staple for many seniors. Maybe you remember packing them in your children's lunches, or grabbing one as a healthy snack on your afternoon walk. There's something nostalgic and reassuring about bananas, a sense that you're making a smart choice for your health. But here's a question you might not have considered. Could eating bananas every day be doing your heart more harm than good? It feels almost wrong to question something so wholesome. We've heard for years that bananas are packed with potassium, a mineral that supports healthy blood pressure, and that they're an easy way to get a serving of fruit. But as we grow older, our bodies change, and the foods we've always trusted may not always be as risk-free as they once seemed. Let's look closer at what's inside that familiar yellow peel. Bananas, especially when ripe, are high in natural sugars and starch. A medium banana can contain up to 14 grams of sugar and about 6 grams of starch. Quick energy for a young, active person, but a bit much for a body that's slowing down. As we age, our ability to process sugar and carbohydrates becomes less efficient. The pancreas, which releases insulin to help manage blood sugar, doesn't work quite as fast. For some, this means eating a banana could send blood sugar spiking more than expected, leaving you tired, foggy, or even a bit jittery. What's more, eating bananas too often, especially if you take medications for your heart, can throw off your body's delicate balance of potassium and sodium. While potassium is vital for heart health, too much can be harmful, particularly if your kidneys aren't working as well as they used to. Seniors on certain blood pressure medications, like ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, are even more at risk for developing dangerously high potassium levels, a condition called hyperkalemia, which can cause irregular heartbeats or muscle weakness. It's the kind of detail that often goes overlooked, especially since bananas are so often thought of as a safe food. So, what should you do if bananas are part of your daily routine? The answer isn't to banish them completely, but to enjoy them with mindfulness and moderation. Try limiting yourself to half a banana at a time, or enjoying them just a few days a week instead of every day. If you love starting your day with a banana, pair it with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a spoonful of peanut butter, some cottage cheese, or a handful of walnuts, to help slow down sugar absorption and keep your blood sugar steadier. If you like making smoothies, balance out the banana with berries and leafy greens, which add fiber and nutrients without all the sugar. Let me share a real story with you, one that might feel close to home. Margaret, a retired school nurse from North Carolina, swore by bananas for breakfast. She'd eat one every single day, thinking it would give her the energy she needed to keep up with her grandchildren. But she began noticing spells of fatigue, occasional muscle cramps, and higher than normal blood pressure readings at her checkups. Her doctor reviewed her diet and medication list, then gently explained how even healthy foods like bananas can sometimes become a problem, especially for someone on blood pressure medicine. With some reluctance, Margaret agreed to cut back, limiting herself to a few slices of her oatmeal instead of a whole banana, and adding more berries and nuts instead. Over the next few months, she found her energy steadier and her blood pressure under better control. Most importantly, she felt more confident in her choices and proud to be caring for herself in a new way. If you grew up believing that more fruit is always better, don't feel guilty for being surprised by this new information. Nutrition is a journey, and the more we learn, the better we can care for ourselves and the people we love. Bananas still have a place in a heart-healthy diet, especially when enjoyed in moderation and as part of a balanced meal. Remember, it's not about giving up the foods you love, but about adjusting them to meet your body's changing needs. Every thoughtful step you take, whether it's slicing your banana in half, mixing up your fruit choices, or talking to your doctor about your diet, makes a real difference. You've spent a lifetime making good choices for your family and yourself. Now, let those choices continue to protect your heart and help you enjoy the vibrant life you deserve. The best health isn't about perfection, but about balance, self-kindness, and the willingness to keep learning, at any age. 6. Dried fruits, raisins, dried apricots, dates, etc. If you're like many Americans, you probably have a container of raisins in your pantry right now, maybe tucked in next to some dried apricots, prunes, or dates. Dried fruit is so convenient. A handful tossed into oatmeal, a sweet bite after lunch, or a way to jazz up a salad. For seniors, it's especially appealing. No peeling, slicing, or mess. Just a quick, healthy treat. Maybe you even remember packing raisin boxes in your children's school lunches or seeing your parents nibble dried fruit with their afternoon coffee. It feels like an old-fashioned, wholesome snack, one that's easy on your teeth and your schedule. But have you ever noticed that, after enjoying dried fruit, you sometimes feel sluggish, thirsty, or even a little unsettled in your stomach? Have you ever wondered if these small, sweet snacks might not be quite as harmless as they seem? For years, we've been told fruit is nature's candy, and dried fruit is just fruit with the water taken out, right? But what if this convenient snack is quietly packing a powerful punch that could put stress on your heart, especially as you get older? Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Dried fruits are concentrated. When water is removed, all the sugar remains. A small handful of raisins or dried apricots can have the sugar content of several pieces of whole fruit. For example, one little box of raisins, about 1.5 ounces, contains nearly 25 grams of sugar, the same as a full-sized chocolate bar. And because dried fruit is so easy to chew and swallow, it's almost effortless to eat a large amount in a single sitting, often without realizing how much sugar you've consumed. Our bodies, especially as we age, don't process that kind of concentrated sugar as efficiently as they used to. A rapid increase in blood sugar after eating dried fruit triggers your pancreas to produce a surge of insulin, which then pushes your blood sugar back down. Over time, these spikes and crashes can wear out your system, increasing the risk of insulin resistance, prediabetes, or even diabetes. But that's not all. Repeated sugar spikes also cause inflammation inside your blood vessels, damaging their delicate lining and paving the way for plaque buildup, high blood pressure, and heart disease. It's not just about sugar. Commercially prepared dried fruits often contain added sugars, syrups, or preservatives like sulfites, which can irritate sensitive stomachs and even trigger allergies in some people. The combination of high sugar and chemical additives creates a hidden risk, especially for seniors trying to keep their hearts healthy and their digestion comfortable. So, what's the solution? You don't have to give up dried fruit completely, but moderation and mindfulness are key. Start by reading the label on any packaged dried fruit. Choose varieties with no added sugar or preservatives. Measure out a small serving, a tablespoon or two, instead of eating straight from the bag. Even better, try using dried fruit as an accent. Sprinkle a few raisins over your morning oatmeal, or add a couple of chopped dates to a salad, rather than eating large handfuls on their own. And if you're looking for healthier alternatives, consider fresh fruit first whenever possible. Fresh berries, apple slices, or orange segments provide the sweet taste you crave but with less sugar per bite, more fiber, and the hydration your body needs. If you want the convenience of dried fruit, try freeze-dried options with no added sugar, or make your own at home using a food dehydrator and no extra sweetener. Let me tell you about Tom, a retired postal worker from Minnesota. Tom loved snacking on dried apricots. He'd munch a handful every afternoon while watching his favorite shows. But he noticed he was feeling more tired and thirsty than usual, and his doctor found his blood pressure was climbing. After reviewing his eating habits, Tom was surprised to learn just how much sugar was in his daily snack. His doctor suggested switching to fresh fruit most days and limiting dried fruit to just a few pieces, always alongside a meal. Tom made the change, and within a couple of months, he had more energy, steadier blood pressure, and felt better than he had in years. He didn't have to give up his favorite treat. He just learned how to enjoy it in a way that was kinder to his heart. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If you've always believed dried fruit is the healthier option, don't be hard on yourself for being surprised. Nutrition advice has changed so much over the years, and what's most important now is being willing to learn and adapt. You deserve to enjoy the little joys in life, and you also deserve to protect the heart that's carried you through so much. Remember, a treat is sweetest when it's balanced with care. So next time you reach for that handful of raisins or dates, pause for a moment. Take just a few, savor the taste, and know you're making a loving choice for your heart. With a little attention, every snack can be a step toward more energy, better health, and many more years of living well. You're not alone. Every senior learning new habits is showing wisdom and courage. Celebrate yourself for making thoughtful changes, and know your heart will thank you for it every single day. 7. Sweet oranges, tangerines, clementines. Think back to the last time you peeled a bright orange or a tiny, easy-to-open clementine. Maybe you felt the zest spray in the air, the sticky sweetness on your fingers, the cheerful pop of color in your lunchbox or fruit bowl. For many American seniors, sweet oranges, tangerines, and clementines are comfort foods. Simple, refreshing, and loaded with memories of childhood, holidays, or sharing a snack with the grandkids. They seem like the perfect, healthy treat. An innocent burst of sunshine, especially during long winters or when you're craving something naturally sweet. But have you ever wondered, is it possible to have too much of a good thing? We're told again and again that oranges are packed with vitamin C and great for our immune systems. Yet, could eating them every day, or drinking glass after glass of orange juice, actually be making your heart work harder than it needs to, especially now, as you get older? It's a question worth asking, even if it feels a little surprising. Sweet oranges and their cousins, tangerines, clementines, mandarins, are much higher in natural sugar than you might realize. One medium orange can have 12 to 14 grams of sugar. A serving of tangerines or clementines adds up quickly, and a tall glass of orange juice can have as much sugar as a soda. The difference is that, with juice, you lose the filling fiber and end up drinking 2 or 3 oranges worth of sugar in just a few sips. So what does that mean for your heart? As we age, our bodies process sugar less efficiently. High sugar foods cause your blood sugar to spike and then crash, leading to energy dips, irritability, and, over time, a greater risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. These sugar spikes can also inflame the delicate lining of your blood vessels, contributing to high blood pressure and arterial stiffness, both of which quietly strain your heart. Here's the twist. Because oranges and their relatives taste so light and refreshing, it's easy to eat several in one sitting, especially the smaller, sweeter varieties like clementines. The natural sugars hit your bloodstream quickly, especially when you eat them on an empty stomach or in juice form. If you have high blood pressure or are on heart medication, those repeated sugar surges can work against your efforts to keep your heart strong. But the solution isn't to banish oranges from your diet forever. Instead, it's about enjoying them in moderation and in the right way. If you love oranges, try having just one small fruit at a time, and eat it slowly, savoring each section. Always eat the whole fruit, fiber and all, instead of drinking juice, which sends sugar into your bloodstream much more quickly. If you enjoy citrus as a snack, pair it with a handful of nuts or a slice of cheese to help slow the sugar's absorption and keep your energy more steady. You might also try switching things up. Enjoy citrus a few days a week and fill your fruit bowl with lower sugar options, like berries, apples, or pears, on the other days. If you're in the habit of pouring a glass of orange juice each morning, try swapping it for water with a splash of fresh lemon or orange for flavor, or make a fruit-infused water that still gives you a burst of taste without all the sugar. Let me tell you about Shirley, a retired nurse from Ohio. Shirley loved clementines. She'd pop 3 or 4 into her bag whenever she went out. But after a checkup revealed rising blood sugar and a new prescription for blood pressure, her doctor gently asked about her fruit habits. Shirley was shocked to learn how much sugar was hiding in her favorite snack. She didn't want to give up her little sunshine fruits, but agreed to cut back to just 1 clementine at a time, eaten with a handful of walnuts, and to skip orange juice altogether. Within a few months, Shirley felt more energetic, had fewer sugar crashes, and her next labs were much improved. She still enjoys her clementines, but now with an extra sense of mindfulness and pride. If you've always thought, the more fruit, the better, don't blame yourself for being surprised by these facts. Nutritional science is always evolving, and your willingness to learn and adapt is a real strength. The goal is not to deprive yourself, but to support your heart for all the moments, memories, and connections still to come. So next time you reach for an orange or clementine, take a moment to notice its color, its scent, and the way it makes you feel. Savor it, slowly, mindfully, and know that you're caring for your heart with every bite. With small adjustments, you can enjoy the fruits you love while keeping your heart strong for many more years. You've earned the right to enjoy life's sweetness, in every sense. With just a little attention and a lot of self-kindness, you'll give yourself the gift of better health and a future filled with even more sunshine. As we reach the end of this video, I want to thank you for taking the time to care for your heart and your health. It's not always easy to reconsider the foods we've loved and trusted for years, especially the ones that bring back memories and moments of joy. But your willingness to learn, to ask questions, and to make gentle changes is a true act of courage and self-respect. Remember, the message here isn't about giving up all the fruits you love or living with fear. It's about understanding your body as it is today and making small, thoughtful choices that honor the years you've lived and the years still ahead. With a little mindfulness, even tiny changes, like choosing berries over grapes or savoring a single clementine instead of a handful, can have a big impact on your heart strength and your everyday well-being. You've spent a lifetime caring for others, building a home, a family, and a legacy. Now it's your turn to receive the same gentle care and attention. The truth is, every positive step you take, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to your body and spirit. You are worth it. Your health, happiness, and peace of mind matter, today and every day. I'd love to hear from you. What surprised you in this video? Is there a fruit you'll enjoy differently after learning these facts? Please share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else on their journey, too. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-healthy tips made just for you. Here's to many more sweet, healthy years ahead, together.